Hi there, it's JD Martin again, and today we're going to talk about macronutrient ratios. What are they? I know you've heard about them. I know you've heard, especially people who are maybe competing in or prepping for bikini competitions or some type of figure competition. People who are really looking to get like as lean as possible and shred some more body fat and have more of that toned, lean look, right, to their body. So those are mostly the people that probably talk about it the most. But that doesn't mean that the rest of us shouldn't understand it and how to manipulate it to give us the best results possible for our body in a very healthy way. So, what are macronutrient ratios? When we're talking about that, we're talking about the percentages of each category of carbohydrates, protein, and healthy fat that we're eating on a daily basis. Okay, so baseline, good starting point for that would be 50% of your daily calories from carbohydrates, 30% of your calories from lean protein sources, and 20% of your calories from healthy fats. Okay, hold on there for a second. Now we're going to break it down. When I first started in my clean eating, healthy lifestyle, getting fit, getting active, trying to know what to eat, why, when, how to get the best results, I knew nothing. I knew absolutely nothing. And probably the most confusing thing for me to understand was, what the heck? There's different carbohydrates? Like, I had no idea. And some are good for you, and some maybe you want to eat a little less of, or like refined carbohydrates, way bad for you. Also, like lean protein sources and just like healthy fats. I understood like fats, but I didn't really understand what was classified as like a healthy fat or like a bad fat. So I bring this up because I know I'm not alone, and I want to make sure to kind of help give you just like a little baseline information there for you, okay? So carbohydrates, when we're talking about carbohydrates, typically there are two main kinds of carbohydrates, okay? We've got your fibrous carbohydrates and your starchy carbohydrates, okay? So that being said, starchy carbohydrates are typically the carbohydrates that are whole grains. So we're talking breads and rice and noodles, anything that will say like whole grain or something like that. So your fibrous carbohydrates, those are the ones like your leafy green vegetables, your fibrous vegetables, right? So when you think fibrous carbs, I want you to think healthy vegetables. When you think starchy carbs, or when you hear starchy carbs, I want you to think anything that's whole grained. Okay, anything you can buy in a box or bag, rices, quinoas, all of that. So I hope that helps you understand. So as I'm talking, you can kind of like, oh, okay, I get what she means now by that. Healthy fats, those are going to be things like your avocados, your nuts. You get lots of healthy fat sources from certain fishes, like especially salmon. You can get it from like extra virgin olive oil, extra virgin coconut oil. So, and then your proteins, I mean, for the most part, we kind of understand protein, but we typically think, meats. But you can get protein, from your eggs and from meat sources, beef and poultry. You can get, and by that I mean like steaks, or poultry would be like ground turkey, turkey breasts, or chicken, breast, chicken thighs, chicken legs, all that kind of stuff. But there's going to be a difference between like the leaner cuts and the non-leaner cuts. So your leaner options are going to be the things that have less fat content in them. So you want to pick your leaner cuts of meat, like top sirloin, versus a heavily fat cut of meat, which would be like ribeye, which has like a lot of marbling of fat inside of it. It does help with flavor, but there's a much higher fat content in there. And then chicken, you want to choose things like chicken breast over chicken thighs or chicken legs. Doesn't mean you shouldn't eliminate them altogether. Just be aware of what you're eating. If you're eating a lot of types of protein that have higher fat content, it's going to be you're going to notice maybe that you're not getting the results that you want, and you've got to play around with where you're at weekly on your results with what you're seeing. So choose leaner cuts for the most part. There are things like there's like more iron content in dark meat versus white meat. So there are benefits to getting all of it, but for the sake of your health, do choose leaner options for the most part but don't eliminate the other options completely. So now that we kind of broke those down, now how do you know how many, how much? What do you know what ratio to start with? So a good baseline, and I think I've already told you, but is the 50% carbohydrates, 30% protein, and 20% healthy fats. Okay, so now you know what your carbohydrates, you know what your healthy fats are, you know what your proteins are, and now you know what your baseline is. So how do you keep track of that? How do you plan for that? So you definitely want to track and keep an eye. You want to plan ahead. And for me, my favorite tool to use was myfitnesspal.com. You can also download the app to your phone. What I love about this is you can get on, you can customize your calories because now you know how to get the right amount of calories for you. We've talked about that. Now you know what macronutrient ratio you want to start with. We've talked about that. You can manipulate that in the settings. So if you need help with that, let me know, or Google it. YouTube is probably a great resource. You'll probably find a video walking you through how to do that, or just get on and start your MyFitnessPal and you're great. Feel free to send me a friend request. You can just search my name, JD Martin, and I should pop right up. And if not, just comment below and you can let me know that you're on there, and either I can send one to you or just give you a link or my email. But what I do is I plan my day or week in advance. And so for the most part, you'll notice that people who are keeping track, and this is more of a lifestyle for them, to make it easy, and especially for us moms, to make it easy and simple, I usually will plan 2 full days in advance and just alternate between those days throughout the week. So I'll get on and I will plug in what meals I'm looking at eating. You can plug in your recipes and you can break it down by serving size, and then you can plug in that recipe into there as well. Like it's super simple once you get in there and get it going, but sometimes initially entering the information in can be a little challenging. I do have a couple meal plans that I've put together that I will post into this group so that you can get an idea of how I've put together some meals. And I keep mine very simple. I don't like to overcomplicate things. I do like to keep it quite simple because it's easy for me and it fits in my lifestyle much easier. So I don't have big, huge gourmet recipes, but that's because that's not my style. So I hope that's all right with you guys. It doesn't mean that you can't find recipes and plug it in to make it work. So that being said, now that you know your macronutrient ratios and you know how to kind of track them, there's other apps that you can use too. But for my favorite is MyFitnessPal because it has a wider database of food. So you can take your phone and instead of trying to search for the food and hope that you're getting the correct, nutrition facts that pop up for it, you can take your phone and you can scan the labels on the items that you're using in your recipes and things like that. So easy. So now you know where to start, right? You've got your baseline, you know how to track it, and you'll see it break down at the bottom of every day, or you can pull it up to see the chart and it'll show you. That's where you manipulate your calories and your foods to make it fit into that right macronutrient ratio, right? The 50, 30, 20. Start there. Start there as a baseline. After that, I want you to take it 1 week at a time. Okay, if you can commit to 1 week straight of following your calorie bracket, you've got your activity level figured out, you know your macronutrient ratios, and you've planned and you've prepped your meal plan, right, for the week. So now that you've got that, take it 1 week at a time. Watch your results, okay? Don't only use the scale as a form of checking progress. Take pictures, take measurements. This is crucial because some days you're not going to see the scale move and you're going to see your measurements change. You'll lose inches, and that is the important thing. Inches are visible. Weight on a scale is not. Our water weight fluctuates daily. So do not use the scale as your only form of measuring your progress. I hope that this helps. And now just check it week by week. If you need anything from me, because I know this is only a 7-day group, if you need anything from me, please comment below and let me know. Reach out to me, send me a message, an email, and I can help you week by week check your progress and manipulate your macronutrient ratios from there to get the best results. Okay? Have a wonderful day.